I don't necessarily want to deal with this too much right now. So we'll play something else. I am going to go to arcade offset and I'm going to select the STV here and we're going to play Radiant Silvergun. So we'll switch it up because I wanted to play this for a while on stream, you know, top to bottom, and I never have. So why, since this is the Sega Titan video and we're here now, why not, right? Okay, so let me set my buttons here. The autosave. Right, left, down, up. 1, 2, 3. It's only 3 buttons, I think. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. F12 clear all. Let's try it again. Right, left, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Start. Coin. Service. Test. No, I do not. That's the joke. Then we're going to turn this music up a little bit. The thing is that Astro Superstars is like super loud for like no good reason. All right. Cool. Happy Dad Day. Thank you. Wow, that's wild to me that it's not built in. But today I learned that, yeah, it apparently had the ability. Oh, it actually kept all the credits. How cool is that? Alright, anyway, welcome in everybody. Took us a second to start, but we're well off to the races now. Radiant Silvergun is a classic. Okay. And what's cool about this game is that it was made by Treasure, one of my favorite game developers. Oh, he shot me. Now, I'm way more familiar with Ikaruga, which is another game that they made. So I'm over here. I'm over here eating it. There was supposed to be like an intro. Have you heard this song before? I'm definitely going to credit feed this because I've not played this game since I played the Saturn version in a very long time. The last boss is pretty cool. Father figure, very funny. So for those who don't know, the actual way that this game is designed to work is that it's got 6 buttons. It's got 7 potential attacks that you can do, and you start off with them. You don't... There's no... oh shoot. There's no, power-ups or anything like that. You start with all the power-ups. So you have 7 potential attacks, depending on whether or not you press A, B, or C individually. And then there's an attack for A and B together. There's an attack for B and C together. There's an attack for, you know, 2 combos of 2. And then if you press all 3 together, you get the sword, right? So why this game is confusing and difficult is because you have 7 technically you have 7 options of attack. And that's the part where it becomes less, you have to like learn the game. There's no real way around it. You have to learn the game. Not only do you have to like learn the patterns of the stages and the enemies and stuff like that, you have to get a sense of what weapon to use when. And that's what I don't know, right? I'm glad that Ikaruga was made because it basically took this formula but made it like a lot simpler. Ikaruga just allows you to switch your side, whether or not you're black and white, and then that's when you get something different that's like more useful, or rather easier to maintain, right? Because it's just black and white. The complexity of this game is higher than Ikaruga by a long shot. Even though it's, I guess it came first, right? So I guess they learned from their lesson. They said, okay, well, we got to make this somewhat easier, otherwise people are not going to enjoy it as much. Although even though that's the case, people still highly regard Radiant Silvergun as a really good shmup. Treasure knew what they were doing back then, so Treasure always knew what they were doing, though. To be fair, that's why they're my favorite game dev. I don't understand. Okay, so that just tracks a little bit. A and B tracks. C and B does like a weird like homing thing. And if I just hold it, it sort of like keeps an aura around me with lasers that track after the fact. C and D is for front and back, so that's good to know. I can get up here and like... C and D is like ideal for shooting people from behind. Okay. And then B and C does what? Okay, that does that. A and D. Alright. What am I missing? The sword. So 1, B, C, A and B, B and C, A and C, all 3. And the sword is like your last ditch effort. You hold it out and you spin the stick. So in most cases, A shooting forward is good for... A shooting forward is like what you would expect from like a shmup. And then C is kind of like your bomb to a degree. So really you should be swapping between A and C for situations where like, you know, you're expecting enemies to be in front of you. Oh shoot, I keep dying. You're expecting enemies to be like behind you and in front of you. But here's a good spot to do like a tracking weapon, or the one where you can do bombs. Just C by itself, right? Because the C's come out at an angle. Like right here. Oh shoot, I'm about to die. But yeah, I knew this going in. I knew I was going to die because this game I have not committed to memory, nor have I practiced it as much as I practiced Ikaruga. And so learning which weapon to use is learning which weapon to use in which scenario is a whole thing by itself. That's why I have no qualms of credit feeding, because this game is actually highly technical, like I'm saying. Be attitude for game, actions for fight. The phrase "be attitude for gains" is a very iconic retro phrase, or phrase in the retro community back when this game came out. So if you ever hear anybody say "be attitude for gains," then you know it came from retro. You know that they've played Radiant Silvergun. Oh shoot. Oh man, bro. This game is brutal. Like, I'm a fan of shmups and this game is hard for me. And it's less about the bullet patterns and more about like mastering the input, right? Like trying to figure out what guns I'm supposed to be using, right? Holy crap. Let me know if the audio is good, if everything's coming in. If you're listening, please, so I can adjust. Just give me a thumbs up if it sounds good to you, if it looks good to you. Oh shoot. Is there any use for this weapon? Like, I think like A and B is kind of weak. If I get the tracers on the enemy, it sends like a bit of lightning. Alright. I think I'm going to... Alright, exit that. I reset it because I was dying one too many times. I'm going to swap this test and service button, I think. Yeah? That's the test button. Correct. And that brings up, R2 brings up that, so that's a problem. How do I add more credits? It's special on the top right corner if I hold C down. Ikaruga! Radiant USA! Alright, so I'm playing a hacked version of this game. I should probably mention. What's cool about it is that this hack version allows you to play with different rules. And apparently there's an Ikaruga rule set, which I'm tempted to try because I'm more familiar with that game. So I think that's what I'm going to do. As soon as I can figure out how to add credits. All right, so let's reset our buttons. Right, left, up, A, B, C, D. Start. Coin is here. Service is here. Test is here. No. Now if I hit this, it should take you to that. Okay, cool. Otherwise, I can drop coins. Coins aren't working. Okay, we're gonna reset the core. My coin should be working, but it's not. There we go. That's what I expected to hear. We're gonna drop a bunch of quarters now. 24 is the max quarters. All right, and then I'm gonna try Ikaruga mode. On this hack of the game, if you hold B, Ikaruga pops up in the top left corner, and you hit start, and it changes the Ikaruga mode. So let's see what this actually works like. I don't know what any of these hacks do, other than I know they exist because it's a hacked version. Alright, so if I fire... Okay. I bet you it has to do with the chaining. You know what this music reminds me of? I don't know if Yusuf is still here, if he's left yet. This music kind of reminds me of like Final Fantasy Tactics music. It has like the same type of instrumentation. Ooh, we got an ad. I apologize to those who aren't subbed. You might see an ad here pretty soon. Yeah, I think Ikaruga mode refers to the scoring. Ikaruga had a thing where if you hit 3 of the same color enemy in a row, you get a chain. And this game has something similar, but the rules are slightly different. Yeah, you're forced to hit the same color enemy for that reason. I have a bunch of things on my to-do list tomorrow. I have to call Parker, I have to call the mosquito people, I have to call my bank. I don't anticipate any meetings tomorrow, so I'm going to do it as soon as I get into the office. If you don't hear from me about it, or if you message me and you don't hear from me about it, then you can take care of it, but my plan is to call them, because I have a bunch of different people I have to call. No, because I need to find out how much it costs to do termite stuff. And routine spray is different. That's covered by our money, but oh shoot. The problem is the termite is like extra because you have to like actually get into the bottom of the to the house. If they find termites, you know, it's possible because we live in the south and this is a very high infestation area. Then yeah, we gotta get in there. Decide weapons. Follow feeling. Oh shoot! Oh crap! This is a vertical shmup, but it's like 4x3, so it's freaking messing me up. There's a lot going on the screen. It's hard to keep up with everything going on. I really, I gotta look up a guide to see what weapons are meant for what. But I'm gonna do that after I'm done with this. If I'm really gonna try to like learn this game, especially now that it's on Mister, I have to get a sense of like what weapons are best for what scenarios, based on the stage. Because Ikaruga shows me a life bar for the boss at the bottom. So okay, cool. That's cool. That's new. That wasn't there previously. The enemies have a life bar. The bosses have a life bar. That's part of the Ikaruga hack, I guess. I almost had 100% destruction. Descent point, the suburbs RT ward. Oh shoot. It's deceptive, man. The bullet colors and stuff are deceptive. It's hard, man. I got too close. So this is the era of Treasure that had more, that was characterized by orchestral music. Treasure, one of Treasure's mainstay OST people was a guy called, he would go by Nazo2 or Nazo Squared. I forget his actual Japanese name, but Nazo2 is a goat. But after the Genesis era, which is where Treasure made a lot of their games, they started doing games like this, which were like a lot bigger in scope, and so his musicianship style changed to be more orchestral. I guess part of it was he had better sounding equipment, better sounding instruments and things like that. But then the other half of it, was likely that, you know, they wanted a more epic sound. Shoot, bro, this is hard. So this is your dad's day off? Yeah, man. Playing Ikaruga, let's go. We did some good stuff. We had a party at the church. They did a Dad's Day celebration there. They gave gifts to all the dads. I got to drop my kid off with his granddad, so he's staying over there because my wife has a bunch of stuff that she needs to get done tomorrow, and if the baby's here, she can't really get it done. No, it was fine, man. It was a good time. I put in a new doorknob, as dads are wont to do. We got a new doorknob for the front door. Mainly because of the kid, if I'm going to be honest. But I had time to install the new doorknob. I changed what was, in effect, the knob that came with the house, which had a lock on it, right? But we never had a key for it. I changed the deadbolt on the front door a while back to like a key entry thing. And then I replaced the doorknob, because the problem is sometimes when we have guests over, they don't have a key to that front door, and then if the doorknob is locked, like if you have the lock on engaged on the inside, then that means you can't get in, because you might have the deadbolt code, but you're not going to get into the freaking house. So it was long overdue, and I let my wife pick out a nice one. It matches very nicely. It looks great. It's one of those lever style, like you know, the thumb operation ones. I had to drill a new hole in the door to actually install it. But yeah, that turned out nice. We had a lunch/dinner. Well, it wasn't even a lunch; it was like a dinner. And then I got to spend some time with my wife later. It was, yeah, I'd say it's a good day. And now we're playing Sega Saturn STV stuff. I didn't really advertise this because Yusuf raided into me after his DJ stream. So again, welcome in, Raiders. But yeah, I was gonna, my intent, a perfect rate, let's go. My intention was that I was just gonna play dad themed games, but I didn't really think it through. So I'm like, you know what, let me just play games I like. The Mister got an update for the STV, Sega Titan Video. Sega Titan Video, like I was explaining at the top of the stream, is a Sega Saturn based hardware, arcade hardware, right? So Sega Titan Video, a lot of the Sega Titan Video games are actually already ported to Saturn, the Sega Saturn, like the console proper. But what's interesting about the Sega Titan Video is that it was a cartridge-based system, so there were some changes made to the game, naturally, you know. When you have a CD, you've got more space. and they had an opportunity to do different music. And so carts, their space was based on their ROM chips, right? And so from what I understand, a lot of the Sega Titan video games, they don't necessarily play differently because they're still running on the same hardware that you would find on the Saturn, but sometimes they have like differences, like a different OST, like an OST that's synthesized as opposed to that's recorded or remixed on a CD. Shoot. All right, I guess I can go all the way up here. This is kind of like that one other boss in Ikaruga. So it had a lot, you know, there's notable differences in some games, and I think I know enough about the Japanese Saturn library that I could probably pick out some of the differences in the soundtracks and things. But yeah, I can't complain. The best I could do is a dad joke on my Go Live notification. So if you saw that and appreciated it, you're welcome and thank you. How was your day? Did you do anything cool today? Are you eating lasagna again? Shoot, dude. This boss is rough. Oh, he's almost done. I can see his life bar now. Weapon 10,000. There's a weapon bonus? What's the weapon bonus about? I don't think I've ever seen that before. Is it from destroying the weapon? Alright, looks like I might have an ad here to run soon. You moderated comments today. Oh lord. You're in the salt mines. That must have been exciting. Here we go. Got another perfect destruction rate. That's cool. Descent point, the Celestial Gate. I think we're getting close to the final boss. Ah! So basically, you were kind of being other people's dads. Alright, so ads are probably running here pretty soon. If they do, I apologize. Yeah, I just got a weapon 10,000 bonus. Does that mean I used the right weapon to blow up the thing? I don't know how good this sword is. Dude. I don't know that the sword is a good weapon. Yeah, it doesn't actually seem to kill them any faster. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, come on, dude. Wasn't that bad, actually. Once the initial outrage dies down, the people with emotional intelligence come out and outwit the rest. Yeah. Okay, so I have to ask a question. Did you or someone else post your link to 4chan? Like, did you purposely link that video on 4chan, or did somebody that you know or somebody that was looking for clicks post it on 4chan? Because I did see the occasional claim that some people were making your comments saying that someone had posted it to 4chan intentionally looking for a reaction. I mean, I don't know. I'm asking. That's why I'm asking. I think what happened then is you have a hater that frequents 4chan, and then they probably post your videos up whenever you post them. I think that's what's happening here. Because there's also some people like implying that they know where you're from. I'm not gonna say where, obviously, but I saw that a couple times, and I thought, okay, well, clearly Vec probably has a hater that is keeping tabs on him, and they're trying to act like they know who you are, even though clearly they don't. So anyway, I just saw that and I thought it was curious. I was like, okay, well, this screams of like Gamergate community nonsense. Only 45%. Yeah, I missed most of the enemies on that stage. Here we go. Here comes the diamond. The final boss of this game is really... Oh, I get to choose? Ooh. We're going to stage 4. Evasion. I don't remember choosing before. I remember playing through the game and just getting to the end. So you get a secret bonus if you kill enemies in order. Oh, shoot. if you kill enemies in order and then chain a sequence of colors back to back. There's red enemies, blue enemies, and yellow enemies, right? You kill 3 of the same color enemy, then you get combo for that. But if you kill 3 enemy sets in order, and then, oh man, if you kill 3 enemy sets in order and then destroy them, I think it's red, yellow, blue, I think is the combo. If you do red, yellow, blue, you get a bonus in scoring, which is neat. But it's not obvious because unless you knew about it ahead of time, you wouldn't run into it accidentally until like this stage, because this stage they purposely feed you enemies in that pattern. Red, blue, yellow, I think is how it's done. That one comment you saw was just somebody who recognized my voice. Ah, okay. People are constantly asking what happened, why did it get deleted, the videos get taken down, because they're stupid, so you ban those keywords. That's absolutely fair. I don't blame you. Oh shoot. Okay, well that gives me the context that I need then. Yeah, because I don't know, man. Some people will just like, they act like they know something. It's just like, you wonder, right? Like you wonder if they actually do. Doesn't this soundtrack remind you of Final Fantasy Tactics? I'm getting like Mad Tactics vibes. It's the instrumentation for sure. Oh crap. Actually, the most common comment I get is someone accusing me of stealing my own content. Really? Why would they? What? If it's yours, what do you mean? Or did they say something along the lines of like, "Oh, I've seen this video before," or like, "I know where you get these points." Is that what they're referencing? Something like that. I'm about to run out of credits, dog. Man, I'm sure this was mind-blowing back in the day. People seeing this for the first time probably were losing their friggin' mind in the arcades. Heck yeah, baby. Perfect. The Waterway Ward. G13. Oh, what the heck? Split up like that? Well, you know, comes with the territory, right? We chose this life. We chose this life, we did. The internet is a dangerous place. A wretched hive of villainy if I ever saw one. I don't know, dog. I don't know about you, but... And maybe I'm just being naive, but I kind of miss... I kind of miss the way that the internet used to be. What I mean by that, you know, like just GameFAQs forums where like when people get into arguments, it's not like I'm going to dox you or I'm going to kill your entire family. Like you can just have an argument with somebody on the internet and it doesn't have to be that serious. But I don't know what. Maybe I'm, like I said, maybe I'm just naive about the whole thing. Shoot, this is rough, dude. This game is so freaking hard. Well, it's hard. Yeah, I mean, yes, you're right. Oh God, I pumped as many credits as I could, and they gave me 24 to start with. But geez, like, all right, I'm doing that. I was doing that section wrong. I have to kill the targets before I start closing the gate. But like, you only have like a couple seconds to do it. I think I'm gonna run out of credits. I tried to pop more credits in, and the core's not letting me pop more credits. So if I run out, I'm out. I think that's that. I know that on the Sega Saturn version you could keep playing basically until you're done, but maybe it's different on the arcade. Maybe I need to set it to like free play. If I don't beat the game, which is highly likely, I'll set it to free play and see if there's an option in the menu for it. And I set credits, and so I'm not doing myself any favors if I'm limited to the amount of credits I could. If you want to win arguments, you gotta unalive someone's whole. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like that's literally what it's gotten to. Jesus. Now, to be fair, there are some pretty funny copy pastas that people have posted to that effect. Like, you know, the Marine one comes to mind immediately. Like, who do you think you're talking to? I'm a Marine with so many confirmed kills and yada yada. Like, you know what I'm talking about? That whole copy paste message. That was funny. I feel like I'm playing Undertale, avoiding these targets. Wouldn't be surprised if friggin' Toby Fox got inspired by Radiant Silvergun. He's been inspired by other Treasure games. Okay, so a brief aside about Undertale since I brought it up. The thing that's interesting about Undertale, and I kind of mentioned it in your stream before, Vec, was that Undertale is the creation of a guy, Toby Fox. We all know him. We all love him. But he definitely, purposefully, and with reckless abandon, referenced other games that he played growing up. Obviously, the most prescient one is the Mother series, aka Earthbound. But he definitely has direct references to like Final Fantasy VI in there. He's got musical allusions to other games where he literally used the same sound font from the Super Nintendo to compose some tracks. And then he was inspired by like games like this. He's on the record as saying like, yeah, I like Treasure games and I like Super Nintendo RPGs and blah blah blah. So what's special about Undertale? Undertale is like it's a little goofy because you got to look at it from the lens of a Gen Z guy. Toby's probably, I don't know how old he is. I'd have to look it up. But I think if I remember correctly, the last time I looked it up, I think he's definitely my junior by like 10 years, maybe. I gotta double check his age. But what's cool about it is he wrote all the music himself, and he essentially was working on the game by himself, but then eventually got help from a few other artists to help him create some like character sprites and things like that. And he programmed it very poorly, that he's very on record. But what's cool about it is, for me, because I can always really speak from my point of view. The music's great, really great music. It evokes a time period of retro gaming for me. I just have to stay alive. I don't think I can kill those enemies. Shoot, man. What? And then on top of that, the actual gameplay attempts to be an RPG, but with like interesting other mechanics, namely the shmup mechanics. Right, the battle systems are little puzzles unto themselves. Not every fight's the same. It all requires input, avoidance, all that stuff. Right, that's what's cool about it. And then when you get to the ending, it's not the first game certainly that has alternate endings depending on what choices you make. Obviously, that's been a thing. That's been a long-running thing. But it's one of the most visible titles when it comes to like, if you kill people, you will affect your ending. Like you can play that game completely pacifist. That's one of the more key things that was kind of interesting about it. And pacifism in games, Ikaruga immediately comes to mind, because there's an entire, you can play Ikaruga by blowing up all the enemies and shooting them. A game made by Treasure, but there's a mode, a secret ranking called Dot Eater. Based on how that game works, you have a white side and a black side, and so when you are a white enemy, when you flipped over to the white ship and you kill a black enemy, the enemy just dies. But if you are a white ship and you kill a white enemy, then that enemy will drop dots or some type of energy so you can power up your rockets. Oh, I get more credits, thank God. But only 9. You can put 24 at the stop. So the Dot Eater is a secret rank where you don't shoot a single bullet. You can play Ikaruga from start to finish without shooting a single thing. You don't have to kill anything at all. And if you do that, because what happens is you have to traverse the obstacle course that is the game, all the enemies and stuff like that. And then when you get to the bosses will eventually time themselves out. You have to survive. Yes, that is kind of funny. My bad. That's not what I meant, but yeah. You have to survive the boss assault until the boss times itself out. And then if you do that without shooting a single button, then you get a special rank. It's like a P rank. It's called Dot Eater. You can do that from start to finish without actually doing any damage to the boss. And so that, in my opinion, I think that's the direct inspiration for the systems in Undertale, where you can get into a battle and you don't have, based on your choices that you make and how you engage the enemy, you don't have to hurt a single soul. You don't have to kill anybody. You don't have to do anything. And that game was advertised with that in effect, right? It talks about that in the marketing that the guy did for the game. And while, you know, it doesn't sound special at the time, I assure you it was. It was a very interesting way to approach a game that not many developers had really taken into effect. And I know that Toby was directly inspired by Ikaruga by that. Okay, so the other, I was going to bring that up. The other difference is Undertale definitely has fans that are way too extra, like way over the top. But it took time for that to happen, and when I played Undertale, I played it pretty close to launch. I agree with you that fans can ruin things. Some people would argue with me on that point, but I think that the fan base and how overzealous they are can definitely make it so that a game is you would be hesitant to engage with it because your interactions and your opinions will be obviously oftentimes negatively impacted by like the fan base that associates with it. It's like, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be known as a quote-unquote Undertale fan, despite how good the quality of the game is, right? And so yes, Undertale is the poster child. You're talking about the poster child of fan base ruining the game. It's Undertale, like to a T. Like I cannot stress this enough. Undertale suffered this the most. So when I played the game, I was not only was I not cognizant of the growing fan base, it was still early enough in my life that I didn't run into all the fans doing all their crazy stuff. But yes, that's part of the problem. That's why, in my opinion, I can't recommend anybody play Undertale nowadays, especially since most people have already had the story ruined. But like, in good conscience, I cannot, knowing what I know about the fan base and how it is, I can't recommend anybody play the game now. It's just unfortunate, right? And yeah, JT says it. He said it already. It's too late. It's too late now. Despite how I feel about the game, despite how much I love the music, music's great. Despite how much the characters are good, just playing it means that you're going to be associated with those other people that play. It's like saying I'm playing Fortnite because of the gameplay, which most people don't particularly like to play Fortnite because of that. For them, it's more about the skins and everything else. So yeah, I feel you on that. I could not in good conscience tell you need to play Undertale. I just can't. Maybe if it was like 5 years ago or something and you hadn't played it yet, I'd say, yeah, check this out. You might enjoy this game. But unfortunately, that isn't the case anymore. I play for Chun-Li. Heck yeah, baby. Penta. Be attitude for gains. Reinforce weapons. Fight for truth. Memories yourself. Treasure's so funny, man. I would say that the time period that Undertale was out before it got ruined by the fans was probably about 6 to 7 months after release. If I remember, because I was living in an apartment at the time. That's when I played the game, and it was somewhat shortly after the game was released. Oh shoot! I think it was probably it took less than half a year, and then that's when things got bonkers. People were spoiling the story. People were talking about it online. People were already making mods because the Undertale is programmed in I think RPG Maker, some variant of some open source program that makes it super easy to mod. So a lot of idiots took the game, dismantled all the assets, and then made their own little custom scripts and battles. And so people would be spreading like custom scripts of battles that didn't actually exist in the game, but then they would try to pass it off as like, this actually happened in the game, right? And then after that, you get entire fan games, and which honestly, I don't think Toby really did. Toby didn't mind that people were doing that, because his whole thing was based on, his whole start to games development was him hacking Earthbound ROMs and making Earthbound hacks for like Halloween and stuff. He has a long storied history of being part of like Starman.net as a community and making ROM hacks for Earthbound. So it's like, to him, that's acceptable behavior. Which, I mean, I can't blame him, because it led to a career where he's making a ton of money. He sold a bunch of copies of that game. So yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I did like Undertale. I probably wouldn't play it again. But I did enjoy what it did. It has some legitimately sentimental aspects to it, and like I said, the music's fantastic. You got to put the time in, and like the game itself is not that much of a chore to play, because like I said, all the battle sequences and things are very varied. You're constantly doing something new in that game, right? And as an RPG, it doesn't take that much time to get through it. But again, the fan base absolutely, I contend that the fan base can absolutely ruin stuff. Absolutely can ruin games for other people, and Undertale is like the poster child for that type of miscreant behavior. and you're right. Yeah, you're not meant to like every game. I completely agree. I just think that Undertale did some special things that I appreciated, because it kind of, a lot of the references spoke to me from like when I was growing up playing games, you know? Toby purposely did all that stuff. It's like, yeah, that's cool stuff to me because of the callbacks and the other thing, you know. And it's not like it's not like blink blink, this is from Final Fantasy, right? He always did his own spin on those things. Like, yes, you can tell where the inspo came from, but it was always in the context of Undertale, in the world and the universe that he was building and everything else. Now, by extension, Deltarune, that is too zoomer for me. Deltarune is like a continuation of Undertale. Some people think it's a sequel. I played the free demo when it came out, and the parts were, you know, it obviously was a evolution of the first Undertale. With the writing, this is Toby Fox lowering the veil a little bit and taking some zoomer, some Gen Z / zoomer-ish approaches to writing, and that's kind of what Deltarune's doing. And it kind of, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't feel the same level of attachment or what's the word I'm looking for? Attachment or like understanding or willingness to play the game because of the choices he's made and how he's telling this particular story. And this game's impossible, brother. This game is rough. I don't know how anybody ever beat this game on arcade. Golly, dude. Am I screwed? I'm dead. Wow. I screwed myself because I killed the enemy but didn't move over in time. This Tetris looking friggin' state. Are you serious? Alright, so this one targets the enemy. I feel like these side bombs are really good. Shooting behind you is pretty good too. Hey, dude. Come on now. But I feel like a lot of the Gen Z people that I'm forced to interact with on like Discord and stuff, like they speak highly of Deltarune, but like, yeah, it's in my opinion, it's Toby Fox succumbing to the fan base. He wrote the game knowing that the game would have a fan base, which he knew that he knew that going in that it was gonna be very fan driven, and so he wrote I guess it's a form of fan service, I suppose. I guess you could argue it's a type of fan service. Yeah, he knew what he was doing with Deltarune. I don't know, JT. Have you played Deltarune? And if so, what do you feel? What do you like about it, or what do you feel about it? I'm curious to hear from somebody else from like my demographic what they thought of the game, because I don't feel like I'm alone in the way I think about it. Okay. I'll take that as a no. But did you play Undertale? If you didn't play Deltarune, did you play Undertale at least? Jesus Christ. That caught me off guard, JT. Warning, no refuge. Countered an assailant. CA2 EXO. Beatitude for game. See out. Relax sight. Hold oneself. Yeah, like you said, too late for Undertale, and I saw that was already surrounding Deltarune. Yep. Out the gate, brother. If you watch, didn't they do some type of event for Deltarune like a year back? Like some kind of telethon slash... I think it was run by Fangamer when they were like releasing a bunch of merch for the game. And that was like cringe levels that I've never seen before. And it's like, yeah, this is all a direct response to the fan base. The fans are eating this crap up. I don't feel that this speaks to me on a fundamental level. And which is, you know, again, the programming, the game itself, what I played of the demo, like, okay, this is interesting. But, you know, you gotta be, at least for me, I gotta have a good story in an RPG if I'm gonna sit there and like go through the rigmarole of figuring out what these characters are about and like what's going on. I hope we solve this mystery type beat. Like, come on, man, like, give me a break. I can't play the equivalent of like a fan fiction, a fan fiction made by an overzealous group of fans. Waiting for Border Bobbinson to make a guest track. Yeah, I mean, you know he does. Ah! Shoot, brother. Can I like? Oh, I can swipe these with my sword. This is the kind of stuff. Ooh, do it. Eat him up. Eat those dots. Make my sword big, baby. I can do it now. All right, so these can get eaten. Clap, baby. Clap them cheeks. So that's what the sword's for. It's not for attacking. It's for eating dots. It took me until the freaking end of the game to realize that's what it's for. I wish I had my soundboard, but unfortunately, I don't have it. I don't have it right now. Can I eat those? I can't eat those. So they have to be a certain color, I'm guessing. The purple ones are fair game. And the little bar underneath my score is what that's for. Brother, I've been playing this game without even using all the mechanics that it has. How's that for ignorant? Brother, man, ooh, eat it, eat it, eat it. There we go. Peanut butter chocolate flavor. Is this a mod? Yes. So this version of Radiant Silvergun is a mod. It is. So it's called Radiant Silvergun EX. In Japan, Radiant Silvergun is a 3-button game. A, B, and C. On this game, this is a shmup that doesn't have any power-ups. You start with every gun slash weapon type, but it's based on which buttons you press. A is a button, B is a button, C is a button, but then additionally, A and C is a button type, B and C is a button type, A and B is a button type, and then A, B, and C is your sword. All right, so it's you have 7 different types of attacks based on which button combinations you press. A, B, and C, A and B, B and C, A and C, and then all 3. It's a little confusing. That's part of why this game is hard, because you have to know which weapon types are appropriate for each thing, and every weapon has its own properties, and some weapons are better for other scenarios, right? In America, when Radiant Silvergun was released in the arcade, it was a 2-button game. I guess the developers thought the game would be too complicated for players to figure out in America, so they limited the amount of attacks that you could do to 2 buttons. And, well, you know, that's just how it is. So it's only 2 buttons. Now, so as part of the Mr. release for the STV Arcade Core, some people in the community made a mod to Radiant Silvergun. This predates the core, because they also made a version for the Sega Saturn. Radiant Silvergun EX. And EX basically makes it so that you can choose if you want to play the US version of the game, the Japanese version of the game, and then they have a custom Ikaruga mode, and then they have like another mode that's just labeled special that I don't know what the rules are, but I would have to look up to see what it is. And they also made changes to the... I don't know that they made changes to how responsive the game is, but in effect, you have a couple extra modes, and then they give the player the ability to choose between the Japan version or the American version. Why that's important for the Mr. Core, or why that's relevant for the Mr. Core. When the Mr. Core came out for this game, it was defaulting to the American BIOS, American version, which means only 2 buttons. But the EX mod that was part of a download that you could get onto your Mister gave you those options, like I was saying. It defaults to the Japanese version, which is, you know, the quote-unquote real version of the game, because the game never really came out in America, apart from arcades. And if you ever saw Radiant Silvergun US in America, then I envy you, because those cabs must have been, like, extremely rare to find, considering how expensive this game is on the secondhand market nowadays. So I'm playing on a Mister. This is copying real hardware. It's playing like how the real hardware would play, apart from the mods, right? And this core that was developed for the Mister was released officially in a non-beta format like a few days ago. So that was cool, right? They updated the Saturn core. They implemented STV, Sega Titan Video, and then I knew that this was coming, so I loaded up my SD card with all the STV ROMs, which surprisingly there's only about 100 games that ever ran on STV, and there's support for like 60 of them or something like that. So I have 60 new games to play on the Mister, give or take, depending on region and stuff like that, for this core. And I decided to play with Radiant Silvergun because that's by far the most famous one out of all the games. Then, you know, if I want to, I can play Sega Saturn on my Mister. I have a console. I think that while the Mister core for the Saturn is pretty good, it's pretty solid. If I'm ever going to do a Saturn stream proper, I think I would opt to actually just pull out my console and play that, you know. Ooh, can I eat these? I can't eat those. I can only eat purple dots. This sucks, man. Those enemies keep coming out. Of course, I get the tooth. That's so funny. They got me. They got me. Ate me with that rivet. It's like even if I kill those popcorn enemies in Japan, small enemies that get killed in one shot. You guys probably already know this because you guys are both Japanese connoisseurs, but they call them Zako. These small one-shot enemies that are just there to be a nuisance and get in your way. They're referred to as Zako, which is popcorn. You just pop them as soon as they show up. You end their existence and you keep moving. So that's a very common terminology in the shmup, and you know, certain games, certain arcade games where you fight enemies like that. Crap, dude. So if I ever refer to popcorn, I'm not losing my mind. I'm saying it for a I'm saying it for a reason. Are you gonna chomp again? Brother, come on. Ah, oh, dude, this game is hard. I'm glad I can credit feed this. I would have spent like $30 in the arcade if I was actually trying to beat this legitimately. This game is way harder than Ikaruga. I think Treasure learned their lesson with this game, and they balanced Ikaruga a lot better. Because Radiant Silvergun is like hardcore gaming, like to a T. It's rough, man. Yay. I think the game is cool, but I don't have the same... I revere it as an important game in the history of Treasure's development and shmup design, but Jesus Christ, this game is hard. This game is not easy. this it? See, I didn't even... I timed out there. I didn't kill the boss. I didn't do enough damage to the boss, so they just gave me a destruction rate of 0. That's it. You can time out... Apparently, you can time out bosses in this game, too. I bet you they have a pacifist version for this game. So, at the end of Ikaruga, you fight a big old diamond. The Origin. The Orbit Satellite B3. But what's cool about this game is, yeah, this dude right here. This guy right here... People they freaking lost their mind when they first saw this dude. This was the final boss of this game. Ziga. Yeah, 2 for games. Be praying, be praying, be praying. You better be praying, dog. That's your strategy for this game. And he can hurt you. He's a 3D model. But if you come in contact with him, like you can like circle around him and stuff. Isn't that cool? Like the fact that I'm circling around this dude, it's like a combination of 2D and 3D elements, right? His relative location to you is based on how you circle around the character. And his hitbox extends from the 3D model. First time I saw this, like on the Saturn, like it freaking blew my mind. It's a simple thing, but it's like it's pretty cool. It's an interesting way to approach a game. He's changing mode, baby. He's changing it up. Oh God. Kind of, yeah. The Boogie Running Beeps boss or whatever. Oh, I can eat those. I just realized what... They want me to eat those. Can I have your pink dots? If you're not going to eat them. These I can't eat. I missed my chance. I should have been eating... Man, this is bonkers, dude. Come on, man. This is an instance where you're supposed to like know what your guns can do. That's bone, and the lettering is something called Cillian Rail. Are you talking about like the? Is that a reference to that one movie? What's his face? American Psycho. Shoot. Oh, you putting me in a blender, dog? What's going on over here? Am I supposed to be using a different weapon? Oh, yeah. He's over here doing like flash kicks. Guile. I hope you did your homework, because you gotta know what every weapon can do. So apparently there's like a safe zone kind of close to him. I just avoided getting smashed a second ago. It's crazy trippy, yeah. I'm fighting Ultraman. He kind of looks like Ultraman, like Shadow Ultraman. Ziga is related to Ultraman apparently. Yeah, dude. I need to watch a 1cc of this game. I want to see a 1 credit clear and just see how ridiculous that is, because I can't imagine how difficult this game would be to master. I've played Ikaruga way more than this game, to be fair, and I feel like I can get to stage 5 without like spending as many credits as I did on this game. By far, easy. This is just nuts, dude. That quote was relevant 10 minutes ago, but I had to go watch the scene again, so now it's outdated. Well, I'm glad you stuck with it to release a joke. I like a good joke always. I don't hate you for having a good joke. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. My hitbox is like the size of a barn, like, so it's like I think the hitbox is the circular part inside the middle of the ship. But golly, dude, come on, man. Have some mercy, bro. This is nuts. Ah! I'm trying my best. It's just like instant coverage. Should I even bother with like... There we go. Clap them cheeks, bro. Get out of here. That barely did any damage. Okay, there goes the diamond. So Ikaruga also had a diamond that you had to fight at the end of it. Maybe this is where he gets his power from. Oh, the laser beam. The laser beam. You can only damage him if you hit the core. His heart. It's his heart. The core is his heart. Oh my god. I want to keep damaging him, but... Friggin' A, dude. Yeah, like this is... this is nuts. Your hands are tied because you have to stay relatively center. Because if you don't, you're not going to damage the boss. But then like you have to like freaking avoid all these diamonds. And there's like there are little holes there, but the laser situation makes it harder to avoid. I don't know. I honestly don't know what they expected of me. Can I just like keep moving? Can I like hold the corner or something? Like hold the line with my B attack? And then just do that? Is that what they expect me to do? Maybe? Like I'm still dodging everything though. God, golly. I don't know how anybody's expected to beat that boss. I didn't kill the previous boss, and I'm sure as heck probably not gonna kill this one. Yeah. I timed out. Self-destruction. Target self-destruction. I didn't actually kill it. Wow. Well, I think that's the end of this game. It just shows how much of a scrub I am. Stage 1. Link 100,000 BC. Somewhere in time. This is where they turn my gun off, and then I'm supposed to survive as long as possible. So they're forcing you to play pacifist at this point. Because I can't shoot any of my guns. You know, if it stays at this rate, I think I can handle this, but... That, on the other hand, might be a little bit trickier. Yeah, especially since they're throwing out little bullets. I think if I die here, I think it ends, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, it keeps going. Okay, maybe it's a mod thing. I bet if I had died previously, if this wasn't the Ikaruga mod, then I wouldn't see this, I bet, because this is kind of what they did at the end of Ikaruga. Oh, how are you supposed to avoid that? What? Get out of here. Anime cutscene. It's anime.
They died.
Oh, they escaped. It looks like they escaped. That's true. 20 years later. 20 years after 100,000 BC. Hiroshi Iuchi. I think I decided. I'm a treasure streamer, baby. See, look at that. They even say Zako enemies. Zako. Dad! There he is! The dad stream. Music by Hitoshi Sakimoto. Okay, so this is different from Nazo 2. The composer on this game is different from who used to work for well, thank you. Who used to work for Treasure. I know, thank you. I heard it. I guess that was definitely a story. I died way too many to count, probably over 50 times. That was a lot. There's a lot of deaths. So, ladies and gentlemen, so if you hold the A button on this hack, you can play the Radiant USA version. The B button is the Ikaruga hack, which is what I just did. And the C button is special, and I don't know what's special about it. I want to see... Oh, you can do special USA? So holding A... You can change it up, bro. So you can make a Ikaruga version of USA and a special version of... And if you do all three, it's just special. I don't know what's special about it. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna kill two birds. I'm gonna do special. I'm gonna do special USA. I probably should just read the patch notes. Then I think, if I'm not mistaken, I only have two buttons. Yep, I only have two buttons. I have A and B. And if I do A and B together, so I get 3 weapons. Wow, that's it, huh? You get 3 weapons. You get 3 weapons and that's it. I guess you do have an option for attacking behind you. They modified the bomb so that you can the bomb attacks behind you. So that's your default option for attacking enemies behind. And then of course your sword for eating dots. No refuge. Akao. Beatitude for gains. Plain shoot tech. Plain evasion tech. Tiny valor. It's got tiny valor. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and reset this core. Just so you guys can see the intro. But yeah, EX is a hack, so it's a hack not meant for this game. It's not meant for this world. It's not how this game was launched. I believe there's cutscenes, but because this is not the Saturn version, it doesn't have the anime cutscenes. And actually, since we're gonna do something cool here, I'm playing this on Mister. I will play the Saturn version of this game, so you guys can see the difference between, you know, what this is and what the other stuff is. So, in fact, I'm gonna load the regular Radiant Silvergun core. So let's go do that. We'll go to, I just ran so we're gonna play the bog default Radiant Silvergun. I just went over it. What the heck? All right, there you are. And so this should have I'll show you the intro sequences. I'm pretty sure it defaults to the US BIOS, so the cutscenes will be in English. Oh, it has 8 credits. All right, I'm gonna sit here for a bit. In the meantime, you guys can tell me about your day. we still have a handful of people from the raid that came over. So if you stuck around, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for sticking around for as long as you have. Some people probably left already. It's fine. It's okay. I don't blame you. I'm still here. My wife is definitely still here, so thank you, wife. And of course, we got the homies in the chat, as always. I did not post that I was going live, so I should probably do that, huh? While I'm thinking about it. While we wait for this thing to cycle over. Does it just have credits built in? It should just go straight to it, huh? Alright, we're going to do a cold reboot. I'm going to start from the top. Da, 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 da. I guess it just starts with 8 credits. That must have been a change that they did. I don't know who this person is. PK met some person at CEO. CEO is Community Effort Orlando. I can't believe that Bryce prefers Van Payton's core to mine. You're doing like an extended thing here, referencing that movie. Let's see. Can I like reset my cores here? Oh shoot, I keep hitting the wrong button. One credit to start. One coin, 5 credits, 2 coins. There should be a free play mode. Is there not a free play? There it is. That's what we like. What is manual setting? Okay, cool. System bookkeeping, backup data clear. Each game test? Oh, there it is. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for a freaking test for Switch 1, Switch 2, huh? That's how you're doing it by default? You have to do the input check for the cart that's in the slot. That makes sense. I don't actually own this arcade hardware. I've dealt with arcade hardware. I've messed with test menus. I'm very familiar with all that crap, but I've never actually dealt with the STV arcade hardware, so this is new for me. Very cool, very cool. Alright, I'm gonna let this play for a little bit. I'm gonna post up that I'm live in a few spots. Let's see. The movie's on my mind since I put clips of it in that video. Well, that's fair. That's fair. We like that. In retrospect, that actually makes a lot of sense. I thought you were bringing it kind of out of the blue, if I'm going to be honest, but no, now that you brought that up, yeah. Actually, I see. I've made the connection. Well, what I was trying to do. What I was trying to do was get out of here. and then let it play the cutscene. But apparently, if you have credits in it, oh, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Hello, yoo-hoo.
What? What is it?
Winners don't use drug, baby. Yeah, I guess if you have credits in, it will not allow you to see the attract mode. But if you set it to free play, so there you go. This is the story. Robonoid was unearthed from the stratum BC. It was the same as Robonoid in 2519. The stone-like object was unearthed around there, but they couldn't analyze the structure and what it is for. These are the cutscenes. The Earth Science Institute succeeded to restore the Robonoid's memory data, but it was lost by the mysterious explosion. I like treasure art from this era. They have a very distinct artwork and their character design, and it actually permeates throughout a lot of their games. Mischief Makers used kind of a similar style. Freaking Gunstar Heroes had similar style. Like, look at this, man. That's what's up. All right, so that's the extent of the story you get at the start of the game, and it was in English coincidentally, so that's pretty cool, right? Now let's go switch over to Twitch Inspector saying I got instability. I am going to reboot, and I'm going to load the Saturn core. Unstable. What's up? What's up, Twitch? What are you doing? What's unstable about my stream, buddy? Oh, come now. It's just a little blip there. I can't even tell what dropped out. All right. Well, if you heard weirdness in there, I apologize. According to Twitch, it was doing something. So while we're here, go to Saturn. Dooba-da, 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 dooba-da-da. So now we're going to load up Radiant Silvergun on the Sega Saturn. And then we can compare and contrast. Because this is the type of stuff that you got to experience when you got a home version of the same game. Look at that. Different treasure logo, first and foremost. White background. And now the publisher's in there. ESP made a bunch of fighting games for the Dreamcast too. Rather, they published a bunch of fighting games on the Dreamcast. ESP worked with Treasure, I guess, during that time period. To do some magic. Now we get anime, brother. We get a full-on cutscene. Ain't no slideshows over here. We got disk space to burn, baby.
ID00104 バカな期限前ですぞ。しかもここにいるクリエイターと同じ型番なんかの間違いだ。確かに私もそう思った。だが製造元である我々が発掘したのだ。間違いようがない。理解不能です。やる気あんのか。とっとと調べさせろよ。
双子の兄弟なのかな。
いいね、それ面白いよ。
面白い。
現在、記憶データ解析中だ。分かり次第追って連絡する。それから、今日は君たちのテスト最終日だったな。上層部もしがたきには期待しておる。頑張ってくれたまえ。親父、気合がありゃテストなんざ必要ねえよ。I
like how they like use all these like American cartoon sound effects, stock sound effects. No. Yeah, the Hanna-Barbera boinks and stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's video games. So this was a very common thing they did with Saturn ports, or just disc game ports of arcade. Since most of the time you couldn't replicate the arcade perfectly at home, they would give they would give effort in the presentation in terms of like stuff like this, cutscenes, additional music, different soundtracks. Very 90s, yeah. That's when it was made. So you'd often see this. I should change. It's not STV anymore. We're on the Saturn now. There we go. Big Saturn.
出た。どんな感じですか。こんなことが。
This is when they found the diamond and the Robonoid.
この石のような物体ってまさかこいつですか。緊急回転。どうした？
派遣3部で爆発事故発生。レーダーに正体不明の飛行物体を確認。
何？数は
16、32。
That's a huge freaking radar. Why would that be on the wall? Like, I think it's ridiculous. I'm sorry, sonar. No, I don't have my pad out.
回してくれ。これは発掘されたロボノイドの記憶データ。なんということだ。
司令部より非常警報レベル A が発令されています。
レベル A って最高ランクでしょ。やばいんでしょ。
I'm sure someone has. I bet you could probably find it on YouTube with captions. I wouldn't be surprised. This game is too popular for somebody to not have done exactly what you're describing. I'm only showing you guys this because I know both of you understand Japanese, so otherwise I wouldn't be playing through the whole cutscene. And there you go. That's how we start.